Podcast.
What's up, ladies? Jared here, and no, this is not Ashley Luyendyk. This is going to be an interesting episode of the I Don't Get It podcast. Instead of the three girls that you're so used to listening to and probably tired of listening to, you're going to have four men on here that you might recognize if you're Bachelor fans, and if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a Bachelor fan. My name is Jared. I'm married to Ashley Luyendyk. I have Ben Higgins here, the perfect Bachelor himself, Tanner Tolbert, who's Mrs. Jade Roper, everybody, and then Arie Luyendyk.
You got it.
Okay, I almost said Luyendyk. It's Luyendyk, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What's going on, fellas? How is everybody? How are you guys doing to this quarantine? Tanner, I've seen some of your videos of Emmy screaming.
You were supposed to say, welcome to the guys' takeover. Part 3.
Welcome to the guys' takeover, part 3.
And now I'll leave, and you guys can actually vent without me.
Your breath smells like tuna.
Jared, I didn't have tuna yet. It smells like toothpaste. I just brushed my teeth.
It doesn't smell like toothpaste.
I didn't have tuna.
Well, something's in there.
Is this a glimpse? Is this a glimpse into your quarantine life, Jared?
No, it's actually, this is probably, I don't know why, this is as worse as it's been the past, 20 minutes. I think Ashley just is having a mental breakdown a little bit from the technological standpoint of this Zoom call that's not going to according to plan. As you guys can see, I'm drinking my chocolate smoothie. Are you smoothie people?
I'm just sitting over here thinking there's never a good place on a human body to be explained as smelling like tuna.
No. If somebody said your mustache smells like tuna,
I would say it's not right.
That's like the most disgusting thing. How is the mustache going, by the way?
Mustache, though, Ben.
I have a mustache right now. Jessica's brother Philip talked me into it, and I just have grown to love it. And I feel like as I lose my mind during this time of isolation, I might as well go down swinging with a mustache that's just semi-creepy. It makes me a little creepier than before.
Yeah, if you're ever gonna have creepy facial hair, now's the time.
Yeah,
100%.
Speaking of creepy facial hair, those mutton chops aren't there anymore, Tanner.
Yeah, Jade, wasn't giving me any attention with them, so I had to get rid of them.
Did you want to keep them?
Kind of. I wanted to see how bad it could go, but they were getting a little too Joe Exotic-y for me.
How's your quarantine going with 2 kids?
Man, to be honest, I am jealous of my friends that don't have kids. And I know that sounds bad, but it's tough. Every day, all day, cartoons on repeat, screaming, nap time. I'm literally just waiting until 8 p.m. comes around for bedtime where I can have a moment to myself, because it is a lot.
You know what's interesting to me? Because you guys have kids, you're quarantined with your kids right now, so your entire day is just revolved around your kids. And you said when 8 o'clock comes, you have a moment to yourself, and that's what you look forward to most. Do you and Jade, do you feel like it's putting a strain on your relationship? Because, not only do you have to put effort into the kids, but then you have to put effort into the relationship, because at the end of the night, like you said, you just want a moment to yourself, but then you're like, well, shit, I need to also, give effort to my wife.
Yeah, I think so, honestly, because we're not giving each other that much, because we're so exhausted by the end of the day, because we're just, it's like herding cats all day long. By the time 8 o'clock rolls around, she wants to do her thing, I want to do mine, and we're not spending adult time together as much as I would have thought. If you would have told me as a teenage boy, someday you're going to have a hot wife and be quarantined with her for a month, I would have been all right, but it's not like that at all. It's the opposite of that.
What about you, Arie? Do you feel like the same thing?
Dude, it's exactly the same. I mean, I actually, unless he's way easier because she's little, I can't imagine having a toddler and having 2. So she's got pretty long nap times, and but it is funny. At around 7 o'clock, we put Leslie to bed. We cook some dinner, and then Lauren falls asleep at 8:30. So it's it's kind of funny. It's a lot of having kids. Obviously, a lot of work, but it's also kind of a blessing because it's giving us something to do.
True.
I can't imagine being in your shoes, Jared, or you, Ben, where you have to constantly think of all right, what do we do now? Walk around the neighborhood for 100 times, At least we have something.
Yeah, that is true. They kept some normalcy, because honestly, our day-to-day life hasn't changed as much as probably yours has, Ben and Jared, because our day-to-day is a lot of it's focused on the kids anyways. So like if we didn't have that, we'd probably be, you know, making crazy music videos on Instagram like you, Jared.
Are you trying to say if you didn't have kids, you would not be doing Moulin Rouge and Chicago or whatever? What else did we do? What the hell's the Link Larkin one? Hairspray. That's the one I did.
The good one. That was the good one.
Those are the videos, man. Like when Ashley tells me she wants to do them, I'm like, oh. But then we start filming it and I start having fun. And then as soon as it's about to go live, I'm like, Ashley, don't post it. I've changed my mind. Please don't post it. Like, I beg you. I know it was fun, and I had a lot of fun in the moment, but this is terrible for me and my manhood. Please.
Yeah. Jared, I feel like I'm, in a sense, at times, like Ashley's work husband. How much of your life is determined right now by Ashley telling you what you're going to do and not asking you?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much par for the course right there. Ashley just points and then I go. She says jump, I ask how high. That's kind of the thing that I need. I need a sense of direction in my relationship because if I don't, then I'll just be wandering all over the place. But like, I mean, we're at our parents' house. We've been here for over a month now. It's been really nice.
How is that? Because honestly, like I love my in-laws and heck, I even love my own parents, but I don't think I could spend more than a week with either right now.
Oh,
so
my
you guys are with them 24/7, right?
Well,
Ben, you too?
Yeah, Ben's at the in-laws as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's different for Ben.
Dude,
it's different for Ben because Ben still has to suck up. Like he just proposed, so he still has to like put on the good face. Me, so my mother-in-law is named Audrey, and if like she's watching the Kardashians, I'm like, Audrey, we're not watching the Kardashians, okay? I need something different, you know? I feel comfortable now with my mother-in-law. Mm-hmm. How do you feel, Ben? How's it been?
It's interesting because they're like I was telling, it's not been bad at all. Like there's no bad to it. Their house is big enough and they live on enough land where I don't see really anybody for most of the day. So the dad goes to work, I work, and then at night, like we work out, and then at night we come together for dinner and a movie, and I usually just like have a drink, and by the time like my first drink's done, my head's falling asleep on the couch and I'm good to go. Like it actually hasn't been bad. Mostly, I think the trick of it the whole time, and I will stick to this, and Jessica knows this, the trick to a really good quarantine is spending as much time as possible apart and then coming back together to enjoy each other in the evenings. I don't know how you do that with kids.
You don't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It has worked because in the evening it's been fun to just be together again. But we aren't together during the day very much at all. Like we find our own spots in the house and just go and hang out there, which has been super positive.
Yeah, so have we come to the conclusion that quarantining with your in-laws is easier than quarantining with your kids?
Dude, 100%. I'm like the kid in the house right now, you know?
Yeah.
Like my mother.
I'm getting taken care of. Meals are being cooked for me right now.
Yeah, it's not so bad. Like, I do a lot around the house, but yeah, I've been also, Ashley's dad is a doctor, and so he's actually been quarantined down in the basement, which Ben knows about because Ben is the sweetest man ever and sent a gift to my father-in-law. So Ben sent a gift, Ashley's work husband, to her father-in-law, and her actual husband, me, has not given my father-in-law anything.
While you stay in his house.
While I'm drinking his beer and eating his food.
Yeah,
dude, you guys do have it good, though, because I think that's the biggest thing Lauren and I argue about is like, who's cooking dinner? What are we having for dinner? I can't eat pasta anymore. I can't have it's just like you get so tired of making the same thing. And we're always looking at each other like 5 o'clock, like who's going to take the reins, you know?
So Tanner and Arie, how are you guys keeping yourself sane?
Sane? Yeah. Honestly, just playing a shit ton of video games every night.
Dude, look behind me right here.
Staying up way too late and doing that.
Damn, that's a nice gamer setup, Arie.
I know. I got a whole racing simulator.
Wait, is that the F1 thing? The F1?
Yeah, it's like an F1 simulator.
Well, you're an actual NASCAR driver, so you have a competitive advantage over the nerds that like me who play.
I know. I got a steering wheel and everything. It's hilarious. I'm I'm going to go in the office and work for about an hour or 2 hours. I'll see you soon.
That is insane. Ari, that looks like the most fun thing ever.
It is pretty cool. I bought it like right when this all started happening because I was like, oh.
If I'm going to be quarantined with my wife, I'm getting this F1 fucking race car thing. It's the only thing keeping me sane.
Oh, it's so nerdy.
Hey guys, it's Ashley. I'm so sorry. I have to interrupt real quick. We have a message from one of our sponsors. Now, if you're not on the CBD wagon yet, I don't know where you've been. Have you been living under a rock, perhaps? Because CBD has been of great help to me when it comes to sleeping easier, making me feel more calm, a little less sore after a tough workout. But those droppers that some people take, doesn't taste right. It can't be the only thing that modern science has to offer, not a chance. So you got to meet Caliper. It is a better way to consume CBD. Unlike CBD oils, Caliper CBD powder is completely tasteless and it mixes easily in any food or drink. It doesn't have any weird taste, no oily residue, no mouth feel. Precisely 20 megs are in each packet of Caliper CBD. So you never have to question how much CBD you're taking ever again. I put it in one of my water bottles, shake it up, and I bring it in the car with me. Or you could put it in a smoothie or coffee, evening tea, anything just to like help you calm down. I remember a couple weeks ago when we were out and about, I was just having an anxious moment. I was like, oh, okay, well, let me mix in some Caliper powder and I'll be good to go. Caliper CBD comes in affordable 10 and 30 count packs. You can get started for under $20. Individual packs give you the benefit of CBD wherever you go. You could throw it in a suitcase. You can throw it in your car, wherever. It's all natural, non-GMO ingredients, no fillers, chemicals, or artificial flavors. You can get 20% off your first order when you use promo code GETIT at trycaliper.com/getit. That is trycaliper.com/getit. Try Caliper risk-free for 30 days. And if you don't love it, they'll give you a full refund. That's trycaliper.com/getit. Don't forget the promo code GETIT for 20% off your first order.
You know, Ari, I'm looking at you right now. And Ari, this is kind of like an off-topic question, but do you regret not having a beard while you were the Bachelor? Because it's like you're an always good-looking guy, but it's a game changer for you. It's like the Nick Viall effect.
Did you just hit on Ari?
I'm a heterosexual man who can appreciate a good-looking man. I'm zooming with 4 very, very good-looking men. I just happen to notice the beard.
Lauren always wanted me to grow it out because, you know, she likes a scruff. But for real estate, I always felt like such a slacker if I like showed up to an appointment with a beard. But now I'm like, why not? You know, I just might keep it. Who knows?
Beards are in, man. It's the way to go. Tanner knows all about beards.
Hey, Jared, I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
So I was thinking here, what is the biggest difference between you and I right now in our situations? And for the most part, they're very similar, probably. Do you ever, this is going to come off really weird, but you're living in your wife's house with her parents. Have you ever felt like...
Is this going to be a sex question?
Well, I was wondering how intimate like you feel in their house, and does it ever feel weird? And as they're like in return, is it ever weird to know that you're also like considered their son as well? And do you like ever have to walk out in the morning and be like, I'm sorry for christening
your daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, so awkward.
Dude, it's weird because my mother-in-law has been talking to us a lot about how she wants grandkids and she's hoping that we start very soon. And in my mind, and both Ashley and I have like alluded to my mother-in-law, her mom, about this. I'm like, Audrey, we're here for a little while longer. So unless you want this kid conceived in your house, literally like 12 feet from you, it's going to have to wait a little bit.
She would probably like that.
Yeah. Is that a thing to celebrate?
I don't know. I feel weird about that. Dude, it is. So, like, we've been sleeping in Ashley's childhood bedroom, which has, I'm pretty sure, not changed since she was 10 years old. It's still she has NSYNC dolls all around her bedroom. They're very creepy.
If that doesn't set the mood, I don't know what will.
She has Leonardo DiCaprio pillows from Titanic. There's just like pictures. I never thought I was going to marry a fangirl. And then I already knew this, but like it dawned on me again when I saw her bedroom that like I married the ultimate fangirl, because it's just like her with all different celebrities that she's loved from the past. All pictures of her with all of them on her wall. And I'm like, man, I'm married to a groupie.
Yeah.
So have you not been intimate in 35 days?
I mean, that was the long way of saying no.
not once?
No, I mean, of course. You know.
I know that you did not make it seem like of course.
Oh, well, in past 30 days, like, come on now. But
So in her parents' house, you have under their roof.
I mean, I really hope they don't listen to this podcast, but
Really
you know,
putting the pressure on you.
we got to do what we got to do. You know what I mean? Well, it's also like, let me reverse the roles here for a second there, Tan Man. Is it past 30 days, you've been quarantined with your 2 children who are sleeping right
weird
down.
at all. He's always quarantined with his children.
Yeah,
I guess this is
no, Jared. I'm not going to have sex for 18 years. But
do you guys let me ask you and Arie, is it weird to like when you guys like have the kids and they're sleeping like either in the room or right down the hall? Like, is it weird to like get in the mood?
Not when they're young. I mean, theoretically, I could see it being a little weird once they know what's going on, but they have no idea what that is right now.
It's not weird at all.
Was it
more or less just getting to your wife before she falls asleep?
Exactly. That's the challenge.
I got a question for you guys. Is it weird? This is like, you don't have to answer it, but Tanner, I feel like you have no issue answering it. Is it weird to have sex with your wife when she's pregnant?
No, not really.
Jared could barely get that question out.
I know.
Well, it's just like I was envisioning it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
No. I think women are seriously hot. Like Lauren was so hot when she was pregnant. It was actually a time when we probably had the most sex. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a different kind of sexy. I mean, it's a little weird for me when they're like about to pop, because then it like you just and then it feels like, okay, you're like, you shouldn't be in there at this time. But during the majority of the pregnancy, it's cool in its own way.
I'm no doctor, but there's no way that like you would reach.
Me personally, no chance. But maybe someone else.
Yeah, you Jared, probably.
Oh, not even close. I can barely reach as is, and Ashley's not even pregnant.
Is she in the room right now?
She just came running back in.
I heard Jared talking about the coronavirus, and that is not allowed on the.
We legitimately have not talked about it once.
We have not mentioned the coronavirus.
You're not allowed to talk about it.
No, we.
Okay, continue.
I mean, your breath is a lot better now. You just brushed them, didn't you? You just brushed your teeth, didn't you?
No, I brushed my teeth before the podcast.
I don't buy it. I'm not buying it.
Oh my god, it smells the exact same because it is the exact same.
Anyway.
This makes me so happy.
Yeah, this is my life. This is my life, guys. It's good, though. I really can't complain. I mean, I have a roof over my head. We have food. We have electricity. Like, this whole thing is kind of like putting a lot of things in perspective. I think my biggest, like, not to go, like, dark, but I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on it. Like, I guess my biggest concern is, like, how long this is going to occur. Because I want to be able to see my family. I want to be able to see my parents. But until this, I feel safe enough, I'm not going to go do it. And Ben, you can relate because you're at your in-laws, and it's like, I'm sure you're dying to see your parents.
Yeah, and they're all pretty like compromised, so it is weird. Here. Okay, to set the tone a little bit into perspective, though, and I know this is not a COVID-19 podcast at any level. This is our moment with our families during quarantine. But I do have those moments, Jared, where I'm like, man, I want to get back out there. But I don't know if any of you have felt this way. You've all been in the Bachelor world before, and you can tell me if I'm crazy. But there's always this kind of rat race that exists in the Bachelor world, or really any type of entertainment, where it's always, what am I doing and what am I not doing, and how can I do more and more and more and more. And I didn't realize how addicted to that and exhausted I was until everything gets taken away, and nobody's getting ahead right now, right? You can have a great Instagram live show. You can have a great podcast. You can do all these things. And like, that's fine, but it's not getting you any more ahead than anybody else right now. And I realized that idea of like running that race was so exhausting to me. And that's how I was making my decisions. And that's how I was waking up every day and processing every thought, that like taking it all away from me and knowing that everybody else is locked inside as well has been insanely healthy. Now, I don't know if I'll stay healthy when we get back out there, but right now I'm trying to get in the rhythm and the routine of like, hey, envy is not healthy and the rat race is not healthy.
Yeah. I mean, Tanner and I talk about this a lot, where it's like you just feel like you constantly have to put content out there and we're all competing, but it's just a weird world. Like Ashley, so the reason we do the musicals, or let me give you an example. The last one we did, whatever the hell it was, like I was kind of putting it off and it was like, all right, we'll just do it tomorrow. Like we're still going to be quarantined. We're not going anywhere. And she's like, no, we need to put it up now. Like we need content and all these other people are posting, da-da-da. And it got me thinking, I'm like, it is this constant grind where we just like, it's exhausting and it like gives me anxiety, because I feel the same way you've been, where it's like, when is this going to be all over? When is the rug going to be pulled out from underneath us and just one day it's going to be like, no, guys, it's done. You know, whatever you were doing before with podcasts and social media, it's over. And so that stuff it constantly gives me anxiety. I try to separate myself from it and get into a better mindset, but it's hard. And you guys all know it.
But has this isolating time helped? I mean, it's helped me feel slower, which is exactly what I needed. Like the slowness and lack of travel and all of that was like, it's like this breath of fresh air most of the time.
Yeah.
Even though I know people are really hurting, like I come from a place that like, I'm very fortunate right now. I know people are hurting because of this and I don't want to neglect that. But like for me to slow down has been really, really good. And I needed it personally. And that's not to negate the fact that people really are hurting. And, you know, I want to try my best to help that. But personally, this has been really healthy.
No.
Yeah, I can see that. It's kind of the same for Lauren and I. We had a ton of real estate projects. We had things that we were working on. We're constantly traveling with Alessi. And now we're just at home. And it's actually really nice. It has been, you know, obviously it is stressful because you're sort of waiting for the ball to drop to see where the economy sits. And for me as a realtor, like what's going to happen with that whole thing. But I feel like it has been nice to really not have your phone constantly ring, and you just have more time to hang out with, you know, for us, hang out with Alessi and give her as much attention as we can give her. And we're just, you know, obviously it's just her. So it's a little easier to focus our energy on her.
Tanner, any comment?
I mean, you guys do a lot more than we do right now. So my day-to-day life is probably the least affected out of the four of us. So I probably just don't have as much to add because we're already just doing the kid thing all day, every day, both of us. So like my true day-to-day hasn't changed as much as most people. It's just given me more of an appreciation for like the everyday things in life, you know, like the little, like going to the store and then like the people that work at your common retail stores, like you actually think about their lives more now so than you do the people in the public eye. So it's just made you appreciate like, hey, at the end of the day, like all this Instagram, social media, TV stuff, sports stuff, even, it really doesn't matter. Like life goes on without all of that. Mm-hmm. We're all just living and slow down and smell the roses a little bit. So,
yeah.
No, I totally agree, man. Sorry. Ashley just came in the room and
Sorry, you don't acknowledge my
you're distracting me.
Okay, I just want to keep it light and fluffy.
I know. We're keeping it light. We're keeping it fluffy. Girl talk. We're four dudes.
Hey, I'm so sorry. It is Ashley again, and I need to interrupt because I got to talk about DoorDash. I love DoorDash, especially at a time like we are living in today. DoorDash is helping support so many small restaurants out there that are struggling to make ends meet. So support your local favorite restaurants, the small businesses in your area, and get something from DoorDash. They are doing it safely. You're not interacting with anyone. You could just get it dropped off at your door. And I'm talking about it as if you guys know what DoorDash is. DoorDash is an app that brings food that you're craving right now to your door. Ordering is super easy. Just go to the DoorDash app. You can choose what you want to eat, and the food will be, like I said, left safely outside your door with their new contactless delivery. You just click drop off setting in your app, and they have over 300,000 partners, restaurants in the US, Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia. And you can support your local go-tos or national favorite restaurants like Chipotle, Wendy's, and the Cheesecake Factory. In the Iaconetti Haibon family, we've been cooking 2 days a week and then doing a delivery the other day. So every third day, we're doing delivery, trying to support the local businesses and our favorite restaurants. So if you haven't tried DoorDash, this is the time. Right now, our listeners can get $5 off their first order of $15 or more, and there's 0 delivery fees for the first month when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code GETIT. That's $5 off your first order and 0 delivery fees for a month when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter the code GETIT. Don't forget that code GETIT for $5 off your first order with DoorDash. For doing girl talk.
Anyway, no, I agree with you, Tanner. And Ben, like you said, like we're healthy, knock on wood, we're all doing well, which is crazy. Arie, you know what I was thinking about was the fact that we were potentially exposed to someone with COVID-19.
Oh, one of us may have had it. And there's so many people are asymptomatic. It seems like that.
Well,
who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we came back from Brazil and Lauren didn't feel good, and that was probably 10 days before the event, so it might have been Lauren.
Well, dude, also, Colton said he had it, and we were with him the freaking night before, or the night that NBA all shut down in a movie theater. It's
10 days before all the shutdown happened, we were in Denver for JJ's wedding with 100+ people in a small area. I don't know, it's just hard to know, because who knows how long it's all been circulating, but...
No, not enough.
It's kind of crazy.
All right, well, we're all married or engaged, and we're all getting old, and we're just old dudes now. But I want to talk about when we were single, because those are more, I wouldn't say more fun, because my wife will kill me if I say that. But they were different days, that's all, as you guys can all relate on that one. So do you guys have an opening line? You're all you guys are good-looking guys. I guarantee you would go up to girls at bars. Did you have any opening line that you would try to use? I feel like Tanner would.
No, I hated opening lines, honestly. I played it as cool as possible, honestly.
What would you say when you walked up to a girl?
Nothing. I would just linger around them creepily.
Just linger?
Yeah.
Until they said something to you?
Yeah, just kind of, make it obvious that you saw them a little bit, but then just act like you don't care and let them...
Must be nice to be good looking, Tanner.
Oh, come on, Ben.
He was just so good looking that he just sat back and waited,
Yeah, Tanner just stood on the side looking over their shoulder waiting for them to be like, excuse me?
I mean, that's kind of how he got Jade.
Is that true?
No, not really.
Well, in they didn't show this, but in Paradise, did you, night one, you were a little drunk. Did you kiss her night one? I don't remember.
Yeah, night one I did.
You just went right up to her and laid one on.
Yeah, just go for it.
God, you got bigger cuts than myself, man.
I've always been a big fan of some open-ended questions. Or comparisons, would you consider yourself more of a moon or a sun? And then they're super confused. Or a lizard or a mouse.
You know what's funny? Is that a guy like Ben can go up to a girl at a bar, not saying anything beforehand, and the first thing he says is, are you more of a moon or a sun? And that girl would love every second of it.
Yeah, I don't think that would have worked for me.
But if a guy... Even a guy who's just, maybe not as good looking, not as tall, who could just go up to a girl and say, are you more of a moon or a sun? She would have a restraining order against him in about 3.5 seconds.
No, you're 100%,
you guys are hitting on my line.
You're 100% correct, though. I think lines work if the girl finds you attractive. It's as simple as that.
I feel like it was a lot of Ben's delivery too. You see how slow he said that?
Yeah.
He was just sort of looking into the camera all slowly.
Yeah, it's eye contact. It's how well you if you can make good eye contact, then it shows you care. So it's staring into their eyes, like looking into. I'm telling you, if anybody's out there listening, girl or guy, make some good eye contact. It's either going to go really well for you or really bad, and it's going to get awkward.
That comes back to my point. It all comes down to if the girl finds you attractive or not. If some guy that they find creepy just comes stares in their eyes, they're throwing their drink on them and telling all their friends how creepy that guy is. If Ben Higgins comes up to you and stares in your eyes, they're like, "Oh my God, it's so dreamy." So I don't think it matters what you do as a guy. I think it's all in the ball's in the girl's court. I firmly believe that. It doesn't matter if you say something or not. It's just going to come down to what they want. Girls run this shit.
Do you guys have anything that you don't get about dating or girls in general? Like whether it be about your wife or when you were single and dating or now that you're in a relationship, is there anything that you're like, I just don't understand this and I don't understand why they think this way?
One thing all four of us have batted way out of our leagues.
Oh, huge.
And I would like to know how that happened. Like, I mean, I really contributed, even though like I am not with anybody that was on the show with me, unlike you guys. I know that Jessica responded to my DM because of like seeing that I'm not just a creepy guy out there. Like, I'm not like some rando creepy guy, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, are we just attributing this to the fact that like the show made us look and feel cooler, or that we just connected with a bunch of other people who were looking for love and all of a sudden we won?
It's definitely because the show made me look way cooler than I actually am. 100%.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like the show made me look a lot worse. But I still landed the girl, so
yeah, you're still all right.
Yeah, I think you worked out. But, oh yeah, dude, the show, like, I'll never. The amount of times I see on my Instagram, like when the show, like, when it was like right after Paradise and like right after the height of it, people would be like, I would post a picture and a girl would tag someone, and then the girl that was tagged in it would comment and be like, I don't get it. I'm like, yeah, and I'm a B-. I'll take a B-, but the show made me look like an A-, and it's like, I don't know where the hell that came from.
I feel like for me, I always had the racing thing, race car driver, travel the world. That always helped in my 20s for sure. Then the Bachelorette made me look like you guys. It heightened everything. And then just a nosedive on The Bachelor. Just a
yeah, but you left engaged, like you got engaged anyway, so it all worked out.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, as far as like public appeal, but obviously Lauren and I had our thing, and that's undisputed. And
do you feel like
I'm glad it worked out the way it did. I'm just saying, as far as like perception, it was like a roller coaster, and then it just went like that.
So I think your perception, like ever since you and Lauren got engaged and now married and have your beautiful kid, I think your perception has changed so much. I think you're like loved by Bachelor Nation now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I redeemed myself a little bit just because of the whole, I think the risk it took, and obviously how happy we are, and having Leslie, it's changed a lot of people's minds. But at first, I don't know, it was kind of a shitstorm at first.
I didn't have any issue with what you did. I never had an issue with what happened. I thought, it all worked out for everybody, and you followed your heart, and I gave you a lot of credit. But
Arie, you've had a great recovery. You're doing fine now. Like, I don't think anybody's hating on you anymore.
No, it's all good now.
I get hate now. Like, I have people. I remember, like, people will come up to Ashley and I knew this was going to happen once we got together, and they'll go up to Ashley and me and they're like, Ashley, I love you so much. You're the best. You just like represent who I am, and you're emotional and you're great. And then they'll look at me and be like, Jared, I didn't like you a lot, but like, because I thought you were stupid, but now like you're together and now you guys are both great. And I'm like, yeah, all right, go fuck yourself. And it's just like so weird how people are so honest with you. But I knew that would happen once we got together, because I knew once Ashley and I came out as a couple, they'd be like, wow, okay, never mind. She was right the entire time, and Jared's a jackass. Tanner, what do you think? Do you think the show? Well, I guess you never were single.
I never really got an opportunity after the show to like see what see if life changed. You know, my life changed for a bunch of different reasons, obviously, because I had a fiance immediately after. So like for all you guys experienced like show and then another show and time in between. For me, I literally went from filming Bachelorette to like a few weeks back at home to straight to Paradise to leaving engaged. So I cannot relate on that level at all.
I have a question for Ben, because Ben, you're the only person here who's not with someone who is also on the show. So like, what was it like telling Jess's family? Did you have to like explain, or were you ever like, so I don't know if you guys know this, but I was the Bachelor. I'm sure you do know this, but it's kind of weird for me to talk about. Did that moment ever occur?
Her mom likes the show, so her mom had watched. And so actually one of the first things Jessica did was like, do you know Ben Higgins? And Jessica's mom said, yeah. And she's like, he messaged me. And her mom's like, you should respond. And so the one that got, was like the brothers and dad, where like we still haven't really talked about it. Like I don't think they care too much. Like I think it would just be a weird conversation to walk through now. Like we know each other now. There's things that get brought up, like questions like about the experience or like that time in my life, but the details of it, like I don't think anybody really needs to relive or want to relive at too much detail. But there was a lot. Like I remember one conversation I had with her dad. I'm like, hey, anything you think of that show and that experience, like please try to view me from a lens of who I am now. Like don't read too much. Don't assume I did it for any reason that was like bad. But yeah, I mean, I think to Arie's point earlier, like because it wasn't a bad experience for me, really, like I didn't receive a lot of like heat. I think it worked out, but I think like you still deal with some of the issues from it. Like there's still damage done and public perceptions get made. And so no, we just kind of ran from it for the most part. I'm good with not talking about it.
Well, you had a good experience. It's not like you're Chad Johnson out there trying to date someone's daughter and having to explain his antics, or someone like that from the show,
Yeah. There's moments though still, like I remember a year ago, like there was this commercial that came out that like highlighted past seasons, and mine was on there, and it was like me talking to JoJo and Lauren, and like Jessica was watching it, and like that's when stuff gets weird, because you're like, I love you and you have to relive this and see this, and you did not sign up for this. Like that is torture. If you told anybody else that, hey, you're gonna have to sit and watch your now fiance with somebody else on TV, like they'd be like, that sounds awful. But that happens every once in a while without me knowing it.
Totally. I feel like we should do a nice little shout out to all our exes out there prior to the show. Because I remember there was a time before the show where my relationship ended and I couldn't see pictures of her with her new boyfriend on Facebook. Like it would just piss me off. And now, like fast forward, girls that dated us, our past relationships, had to hear, not even if they didn't see the show, like they would have to just hear about it. I remember one of my exes, I felt it's just terrible because she was like, I don't watch the show, but all my friends do, and all my friends obviously know who you are and that we dated, and they constantly ask me about it. I'm like, yeah, that sucks. That's terrible. I wish that didn't have to happen to you, but like,
except my ex who cheated on me, I'm glad as hell she had watched the
That's good.
So like obviously we're all from the Bachelor franchise, so we all still watch the show. I see Arie, you guys talk about it on your YouTube channel. Tanner, I know you've been a fan for like 20 years. Ben, you obviously did the Almost Famous recap. Do you think so? I watch the show in bits and pieces, and when The Bachelorette airs and guys get out of the limo, Ashley will sit next to me, her husband, and her sister, and be like, oh, he's hot, he's good looking. Or she'll kind of like fangirl out for a minute.
Jay does that shit. It's that shit too. It drives me crazy.
But if I said that, do you think there's a double standard? Because if I said, oh, that girl's hot, I would be hanging from the side of the roof, tortured.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a double standard?
Oh yeah,
A little bit, yeah, 100%.
I'm very careful with my words.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even like
That's
movie
funny.
stars. I watched the Wonder Woman trailer and I was like, Gal Gadot. She's like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? I'm like, it's nothing. Like, she's Wonder Woman, you know? What do you want from me?
Jared, I have noticed this in Ashley. So when you guys first started dating and then you got engaged, I will speak for her. I know this to be true. And you can tell me I'm not right. I am right. I spend once a week with her for 2 hours. She was super cautious of you, and what she said. She was very on edge of like, hey, I am engaged. I can't speak that way. I can't say this stuff on the podcast before. And she'd be like, hey, the cute guy from the show's coming on. I can't say he's cute. Ben, you're going to have to tell him he's good looking, all of this stuff. And I thought about this the other day. I was like, about 4 months ago, that went out the window. We have a guy on. She's like, I'm a huge fan of you. I think you're great. And I'm like, she was on her best behavior for so long.
Well, yeah, that's because she's got the ring on her finger now.
Yeah. It's all over, man.
That's what I don't get.
As soon as you become a husband, you're desexualized completely.
Especially with Ashley, because that's her best quality is that she just is so transparent. So whatever is on her mind, exactly. But it's also a horrible quality because I remember there'd be times, especially when we first started actually dating and being in a relationship, she would do that. She would just subconsciously kind of jump into her fangirl mindset, and then if there was an attractive guy around, she'd she would never flirt. I don't want to put make it seem like she was flirting with these guys. She wasn't at all.
She never does that.
But you could tell she just got wide-eyed, oh my God, hi.
Yeah.
And it was the fuck are you looking at that guy for with those eyes? We're going to talk about this later. But now, I've become, she actually misses those days. She misses when I get super jealous. Now I don't get that jealous anymore because, Tanner said, there's a ring on it. And so, it's just all right. If she talks to, I'm like, whatever, she's coming home with me. But, she'll be like, I miss the days where you get so jealous or mad. I'm like, I'm kind of over it.
I thought that was funny, though. I mean, we know that Ashley, that's what we love about Ashley. I missed her super fan moments where she would freak out and get giddy and lose her words. And now we have it back, so we're good again.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty much back. The only difference is I feel like old Ashley always thought that she had a sliver of a chance to get with these guys. And now obviously that's out the window.
Yeah.
That's not happening. Do you guys get jealous? Do you Tanner, Arie? I mean, you guys are married with kids, but is there ever a time where a guy comes and says, just hi, Lauren, in the wrong tone, and you want to, punch him in the fucking face?
I wouldn't say I get jealous of that. I do get jealous. She used to go on a bunch of girls' trips. One time she went to Vegas with Amanda Stanton and a couple girls for a Revolve thing. And I remember I'm not the type of person that calls and checks in. So the next morning she missed her flight. And then I was I saw on Instagram, she was twerking on a party bus. And I was what the hell?
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing is when she gets wild and I'm not around, I get FOMO, dang, why aren't you like that at home? We need to go to Vegas together, that kind of thing.
I need to see more twerking in person.
I know. It's you never twerk.
Well, you should probably just replace that video game system with a pole, and maybe she, There was actually a girl that I used to bartend that was a professional pole dancer, not a stripper, but she did it as an art, and it was awesome.
Yeah. I used to have a pole in my old house because I dated a girl who taught pole, and when Lauren first moved in with me, she was like, "What's that mark on the ceiling?" And I was like, I used to have a pole in my living room.
I thought you were going to be it's just one time the water came through. I never fixed it.
Oh, that's great.
Tanner, what about you? You get jealous? You've been married for, 4 years?
Not anymore. I mean, I right after the show, I did a little bit just because, everybody gets a lot of attention. And if you're not out together, you wonder who's coming up to who. But not anymore. I mean, once you have a couple kids, jealousy, you either have the trust or you don't. And our trust is pretty high now, so I would say I'm just not even concerned, even if, Tyler C came up to her, I don't think Jade would jump. You know what I mean?
Tanner, you're like the most even-keeled man I know.
Jade would maybe disagree, but I
Do you get mad? Like, when you guys argue, do you like?
When we argue, yeah, I do. I have a short fuse. I seem pretty even keeled. Oh, you got a book?
Hi, Emmy.
You have a piece of paper with your name on it.
Will you take her?
I would just like to point out how different this podcast would be if this was like 5 years ago with the four of us all zooming in together to describe what our lives are like. And now here we are in 2020 and Tanner's daughter's coming in and saying hi. And Arie has to worry about what time the baby's going to take a nap.
I mean, I just got a text from Lauren saying, "Be quiet, the baby's sleeping."
Jade literally just mouthed the same thing to me. It's so funny because the baby's room is right above our office, so she's like, "You're being so loud. The baby's sleeping up there."
Yeah.
But no, when we fight, I actually do have a little bit more of a temper. Like I like to just get my words out, and I have diarrhea of the mouth, Jade would say. So I just get it out, and then I'm super cool and like apologetic and sweet, like literally 5 minutes later. I don't hold a fight too long, but when I do fight it does get kind of crazy. Why? What about you?
Ashley's very similar to you, where like if something's on my mind, I'm the type of person where it's so bad, but I'll just let it simmer and I won't speak on it. I'm like, I'm fine. I am fine. And then she just won't let it go. She's more like you, where she just needs to get it out for 5 minutes. Like, it's never a loud argument. We never, like fight. But the problem is, here's my issue, is that anytime we start having an adult conversation, Ashley starts crying. She can't help it. So then I shut down. Because I'm like, as soon as I see her cry, I'm like, I'm sorry. Whatever I did, I was wrong. Forget everything I just said over the past 5 minutes. I'm an asshole. You're perfect. I'm a rat. You're queen. Like, because I feel terrible. And she hates that because we start getting into like serious things, like when we're talking like, well, this is how I feel and this is how you feel and so on and so forth. But she just gets so overwhelmed. She starts crying. And then I shut down and she's like, you can't shut down when I start crying because I can't help crying, but I want to talk about this. And I'm like, well, I can't help feel guilty making you cry, so I'm done. Yeah. So long story short, we never talk about anything.
Yeah, Lauren's the exact same way. She'll start crying and then she'll say, just ignore my crying. That's just like an emotional response. I'm like, I can't ignore that you're crying. As soon as you start crying, I feel bad. I can't talk about it anymore.
So what do?
We just take a break and then come back to it.
Do you guys yell? Arie and Lauren? Do you guys yell? I can't see you guys yelling for some reason.
It's so rare. It's so rare. You
guys seem even more like even keeled than Jade and I. I'm just like so nice that I don't see you guys screaming.
We have yelled before, but I mean,
who yells more, you or her?
Definitely me. I raise my voice first, then I always feel bad right away.
Well, let me ask you, is there a difference between raising your voice and yelling? Because I think there is. Am I an asshole for saying that?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, there's definitely a difference for sure.
I've heard couples yell, and I'm like, that's yelling. What Ashley and I don't do, we don't yell, but we raise our voices. Like, sometimes I'm like, Ashley, I don't know. Yeah. How about Ben? Have you gotten into any arguments with Jess yet, or is it still just rainbows, butterflies?
Ben doesn't fight.
Yeah, Ben doesn't. No, I definitely do. Jessica is the I don't know how many of you have met her. Okay, she's just like the most understanding human. I don't think we fight because, similar to what you said, as soon as we would start, she would break down. Like, we would never get close to letting our voices get anywhere high because she would be so sad that we were having that type of discussion. Now, we have very direct talks, like about my feelings and her feelings and what I feel strongly on. But we also don't have a lot of things to fight about right now. Like, think about it. We just got engaged. I travel, like, when we're not in isolation most of the time. We see each other for like maybe a week every 3 weeks. And now we're getting together a month. It's our longest time that we've ever been able to be like in one place together. We don't have kids. Like, we don't live in the same city. So like, what are we going to fight about? Like, it all works out pretty good.
Are you guys sleeping in the same room?
No.
Oh,
No.
Do you have the couch for a whole month?
No, there's enough bedrooms.
Oh,
it's a
okay.
nice house.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's a nice house. I have my own like suite. I have a bathroom and big old couch. It's nice.
Oh, your world's going to be rocked when you guys start sharing a room. It's going to suck.
Oh, 100%. It's like one of my one requests is, here's one thing I don't get, because I think that's the name of the podcast. I don't get how you fellas share a bathroom with your wives. Like, that is something I refuse to ever do. It will not be, I don't care if my house is 1,000 square foot and I have to build an outhouse in the back of it. Like, I will not have a bathroom with my wife.
Is it because of like all their makeup shit all over the place, or what's
And
the reason?
hair loss, like just massive amounts of hair. It's wild.
I don't get how women use so much toilet paper. It's like like an insane amount. And then when it comes time to change the toilet paper roll, she leaves like one square on there.
I agree with that. I don't get that. I don't get that either. Like, I can use like one ply for a piece of shit, and like my wife, if she just pees, she'll roll that around her hand. Like, I swear, when I had my house when I was single and I was living alone, I could buy like one just standard thing of toilet paper, like a 12-pack or whatever. That shit would last me like 2 years. Now I feel like we're buying toilet paper every week, and I don't know where it goes. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's what I don't get. So I don't get what goes on in that bathroom, but there's zero chance I want any part of it.
Well, there's just, like you said, Ben, there's so much hair. There's just always hair everywhere. It's in the drain. It's in the shower.
When you guys get a house someday, Ben, obviously there'll be a master bedroom, master bathroom. So what, you're just going to go down to the guest room and make that your bathroom and do everything in there? Shit, shower, shave, brush your teeth, everything?
100%.
Do you want to not share a bathroom more because of you or more because of her? Like, you don't, like, do you not want her to smell the aftermath of what happens? Or do you just not want to?
I don't mind that. I have a thing with hair. I just like, if my toothbrush has a long stringy hair on it, I don't know if I can do that.
You seem like a man who sheds.
In front of each other?
No, not really.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Arie, do you?
I mean, number one all the time. Yeah.
We do both in this house.
Oh. God, Tanner.
At least no, I do. Jade's just Jade's a little more private. But.
Yeah, because she's classy. You shit in front of your wife, Tanner?
I have before.
And she still has sex with you?
Maybe that's the problem.
Not very often.
Oh, man, dude, no. Like, I'm married, and I still pull the shower thing. Like, it's like, all right, I got to go take a shower, and then I'll put the shower on.
You don't even tell her when you have to poop?
I mean, sometimes, but like I still kind of get awkward about it. I'm like, all right, Ashley, I just got to use the restroom. And she's like, oh, do you have to go poop? And I'm like, don't say that. That's weird. And then like I'll go in the bathroom, turn the shower on, and then do my business for like 10 minutes, which I don't mind either because then it creates like a little steam room. So it makes me feel nice. And then, even though that's kind of weird, because then like the smell is probably just like wafting in the bathroom while I shower, so that's probably not sanitary as I speak.
Well, you just pissed off all the water conservationists out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not doing it right now. Times are tough.
Hey, Jared, since you're like you and Ashley are big, TV movie buffs, do you guys argue over what you're going to watch every night? Because that's one of our biggest arguments. So I don't get why Lauren has such a hard time picking a show and then she falls asleep 10 minutes after it starts.
Ben, you're nodding. Does Jess do the same thing?
Yes, all the time. It's a constant. Arie, I'm with you on this.
It's so funny.
No, we don't really fight about it. I mean, the only time we argue about what we're going to watch is when we pick a movie. Because Ashley always wants to watch a romance movie. And I need like some Die Hard in my life, my life is constantly revolved around like reality TV, female products, like that's just my life now because, I lived with Ashley's sister for a while. So it was 2 girls and me. And then, she's always talking to her mom and her best, like Naz, her best friend is always over. Like all our friends are friends that are girls. Like I have 0 guy time. So that's the only time where I'm like, listen, I'm going to watch Point Break and you're going to like it because we've been watching Kardashians all goddamn day. So I just want to watch Die Hard with a Vengeance one time. And is that okay? So that's really like where I come in. Why? So what does Lauren like to watch, Arie? And what do you like to watch?
We do like to watch similar things, but you just start running out of stuff, Like right now we're watching like Love After Lockup. I think obviously Listen to Your Heart, just any trashy reality show we're in.
So you guys agree on reality TV? You like watching it?
Yeah, we do agree on it. When it comes to movies, though, we're a lot like you and Ashley. She's always going for the rom-coms, and I just can't do it anymore. We've seen like all of them.
I know Tanner's a diehard reality TV junkie. He watches everything. But Ben, do you watch a lot of reality TV, or is it just mainly Bachelor for Almost Famous?
Yeah, I don't watch it. I watch a lot of, I don't even know what you call it, like the Ozarks, like the dark shows. I love a good storyline. I don't watch a lot of reality TV at all. I grew up though watching The Bachelor, so it was always like it's still entertaining to me, and I still get into it. And there's moments that like I definitely feel compelled to keep I want to keep watching, but no, for the most part, reality television I don't get along that well. Yeah,
I have a hard time getting into it, which is really ironic because I met my wife on a reality TV show. So I wanted to ask you guys a couple more things before we wrap up. Do you think that there's any misconceptions about your wife's / fiance? Like, do you think that people view them differently than they actually are?
I'm going to leave this one up to those guys because I think people's perception of Jessica is just like, I don't know if like they haven't seen a lot of her, right? So, yeah, I don't know.
I think for Lauren, she really got just like an interesting edit. Like they didn't show much of her. I felt like they kind of hid her a lot. So everyone, when they watch like any videos on Insta or like on YouTube, they're like, oh my gosh, Lauren has so much personality. I didn't see that. So I think that's kind of the biggest takeaway from her perception, I guess, on the show versus off.
Yeah, I would agree. I think people have a misconception that Jade is probably a little bit more outgoing than she actually is, just because like on social media, you have to like talk to the camera and you're interacting with people without actually interacting with people. So people assume that like all Bachelor people are like this outgoing social people, but like Jade's actually pretty introverted and like doesn't need a lot of social activity. Where I would say a lot of people just assume people that post to Instagram every day are, just loving attention, but she really is the opposite of that. So that's the only thing I can think of.
Ashley's a weird one. I feel like Ashley is very similar to how she came off on TV, but I would also say the biggest difference is Ashley's way more down to earth than I think the way people perceived her when she was on the show. And I remember that was one of the.
I agree with that, especially her first like season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Coming into Paradise, like I had a totally different, perception of Ashley until after I actually met her.
Yeah.
But coming into it, I thought she was completely different than she would be.
Yeah. I remember talking to her on the first night of Paradise, and the conversation went really well, and we had really good banter. And I remember thinking, wow, she's a lot more easygoing than I would have anticipated.
Well, I have a theory on that too, Jerry. I wonder if that preconceived notion that almost played a role in why you guys didn't link up right away. Like, you know what I mean?
Your theory, like I think there's something to your theory.
Because, like, obviously you guys are super compatible and, like, you guys would make a great couple and work. But, like, I feel like you probably had a idea of who each other were based upon what you saw on a TV show. And maybe that kind of made things slower because you had to disassemble that to put together the real you two.
No, I agree. I agree. Like, you can relate because you saw Jade on a TV show, so you had a certain idea of who she was. But like, I know that Arie, you met Lauren in person before you ever saw what she was like on the show, and then obviously Jess wasn't on. But like, yeah, it was weird. I agree with you, Tanner, because I think when who we saw Ashley be on Chris Soul's season, like that is who Ashley is. That's a part of who Ashley is. That's her personality. But there's so much more to her, and I agree with you that like sometimes I think it is, for me at least early on, it was in my head. I was like, no, like I've always been with the girl who's more shy and like how do I put this, like cutesy? I don't know how do you describe that? But just like dainty. Where Ashley's like the complete opposite of that, and so I think for a lot of time I was like, no, like I've always been attracted to girls like that, and then obviously I pulled my head out of my ass and was like, don't worry about that shit, Jared. Just be with the person you want to be with. But do you guys also have like any? Is there like things that you guys need to do to make your relationship better or make it work? Like, are there certain things that that you should be working on, but it's hard for you to do? Like, for example, for me, Ashley needs a lot more affection, because like my love language is, like I feel in my head my love language is providing. Like I feel like I provide for Ashley, and that's how I show her my love, by doing things for her and making sure she's taken care of. But I think the way she receives it is differently, because she wants to be just more like, she always wants to cuddle. Holy shit. 24/7 this girl could cuddle. It's insane. It's very sweet, but it's a lot. And so I think like I know that's something I need to work on, to be like, okay, I need to make sure that like even just holding her hand or put my arm around her, or giving her a massage or things like that, they never like come to my head immediately, because in my head I'm like, oh, well, I'm making sure that she has whatever she needs, or that I'm cleaning up or cleaning up after her, or giving her things, or so on and so forth. Do you guys have things like that too?
I think that's like every woman, you just described, like, I think every woman wants more affection from their man. I think that they're just more, needing of that affection. But yeah, I'm on the same page with you. Lauren's always also wanting me to listen. And I think that she uses a lot more words than I do in general. And I think that I can describe something quickly and easily, but she like elaborates more, and she wants me to be more involved in the conversation a lot of times. So it like makes her feel like I'm listening. Those are the things that I have to kind of keep in mind.
She badger you about them?
No, not really. She's just like, are you listening to me? I'm like, yeah, I responded. She's like, you said like 2 words. I'm like, yeah, I just like took the information in and I like acknowledged it, but I don't really have an opinion about it.
Yeah, I can't add anything to this conversation. What about you, Tanner?
The biggest thing for us, especially at this chapter of our life, I think, is just setting aside like a quality time, I guess you could say, as husband and wife, not just mom and dad. That's probably the biggest thing that I think that we could work on, because when you are, I mean, it's amplified right now during this whole isolation thing, but when all day is, the most of your attention is going to your kids, as it should be. And then at the end of the day, when they go to bed, you're just exhausted. When do you get that husband-wife time, not just mom and dad time? So I think that's something that, at least for us, is probably the biggest thing that we could work on. But it's hard at this time of life, because, I mean, there's only so many hours in a day, and
there's only so much effort.
Energy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's only so much energy for you guys both. I mean, you're parents. So not only you husbands, but your dads as well, and you're putting so much effort into being a dad that, of course, the husband's just going to kind of like, the husband part's going to lack a little bit.
Right. I think we need more of it, but I also need to be more forgiving of it, because I need to understand that Jade is putting forth so much energy with the kids all day long that like some days there just isn't going to be energy for me, and I need to be okay with that. So that's something we, talk about, bicker about a little bit, but that's probably our biggest thing, at least at this stage of life. Obviously it'll change as kids get older, or in your case, before you have kids, I'm sure you have a different set of things you're dealing with. But
do you guys think that do you guys think that you were ready to be dads? Were you, before your wives were pregnant, were you nervous that you thought you just weren't ready to be a dad?
I'm not scared to be a dad in general. I think babies are hard for me. So like, I was scared about not knowing how to handle a like newborn or baby. Like the idea of hanging with a toddler is easy and fun, but like,
yeah, you're a toddler at heart.
Yeah, exactly. So, but with babies, there is an area that was a little scary, I guess you could say.
What about you, Arie? Were you nervous? Did you think you were ready to be a dad?
I mean, you're never really ever ready. I think everyone always says that, and it's totally true. I think the most shocking thing is when you get to go home and you're just given this baby, and now you're like, oh my gosh, like I know nothing. Like we just have to figure it out. So it was fun figuring it out together. But as a guy, you feel really helpless in the beginning because there's only so much you can do. Because obviously, with breastfeeding, it's really difficult to be sort of there for your wife because she's having to wake up more. So I would try to take that as much as I could, but really, it's really hard to really understand what to do in the beginning. So I totally get that with what Tanner's saying.
Because like right now, Ashley and I are talking about when we want to start having kids, and it's just like we feel like kids ourselves. Like it almost feels like, wow, are we? We want to have kids, and we're at the right age. But I guess, yeah, you're right. You just never feel ready, and you just do it and figure it out.
Yeah, you'll feel like a kid forever in some aspects. No matter if you have a kid when you're 20 or 40, I'm sure you still feel like you're a certain age. So it's just part of life. You just figure it out as you go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Ben had to bounce. He apparently was taking care of the dinner for the family. So that's why he left early. He didn't even say bye. What an asshole.
No, he was trying to do what we do on the Almost Famous.
No, I know. I'm just busting his balls. Ashley just walked in and yelled at me for making fun of Ben. We can make fun of Ben. If we didn't love Ben, we wouldn't make fun of Ben. That's how it usually works. But guys, thanks so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. Taking time. I mean, I know you guys probably have nothing else to do, but still, it's very nice. I'm kidding.
Thanks for having us.
Quarantine, obviously.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
No, of course, guys.
Good catching up, guys, and stay safe.
You stay safe as too. Please tell Lauren we said hello. And Tanner, we'll talk to you and Jade probably very soon.
Thank you so much, guys. It sounded so good from up there. All right, bye.
See you guys.
Later, guys.
Podcast.